Hello mga students, magandang umaga, magandang hapon, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Meron na naman po tayong panibagong audit case problems, still focused on long-term assets. Okay? This time, we'll have a reconstruction of balances for the affected accounts because of some asset misappropriation. So let us study this case. Ito po ay isang long problem. Okay, presented here in Excel file again para mas marami yung pwede nating mailagay na information. Okay, basahin po natin muna yung information. The accounting of AVC company was left in a mess after a series of resignation made by its accounting team triggered by a financial scandal involving key company officials. So, sa Tagalog, nagkaroon ng gulo dahil nagsipag-resign ang mga nasa accounting gawa ng merong iskandalo na kinaharap ang mga higher-ups, okay, yung mga nasa posisyon. During 2024, which is the year under audit, yung auditor ay binigyan ng mga information na makikita po natin sa baba. So, presented to you are 7 items, no? And the respective information. So, isa-isahin po natin beginning with number 1. Land valued at 15 million received as grant from the provincial government under a condition that a bus terminal station should be constructed. The land was received late in 2023. However, no entry was made in the books of AVC company because the construction of the terminal has not yet started. Okay? So, merong donation na natanggap by way of government grant. Pero kailangan magpatayo ng terminal. Okay. Number 2. Since ang natanggap ay non-monetary, land, kailangan ng pampatayo ng building, ng bus station. So, kinailangan ni AVC na mangutang sa bangko. So, AVC secured a 3-year bank loan early in January of 2024 amounting to 5 million at an interest of 10% per annum. Okay po. Availments from the loan were made at the beginning of each quarters in equal amounts. Okay? Ang assumption po natin dito is yung availment will only be for the year 2024. So yung buong 5 million ay ma-avail yan for 4 quarters, equally. Kung 5 million divided by 4, edi 1,250,000 per quarter. Okay. Prior to disbursement, proceeds of the bank loan were temporarily reinvested to earn interest income. Inspection of bank statements revealed a total of 45,000 interest income earned during the year. However, out of that amount, only 40,000 were earned from reinvestment of proceeds from the bank loan. Okay. Total interest expense were also observed, amounting to 485,000 when the auditor inspected the bank statements for the year 2024. So yung isa, interest income, yung isa naman ay interest expense. Okay, we can assume from here that the 485,000 results from the 5 million bank loan at an interest of 10% per annum. Okay, so dito hindi na po tayo pinagkukompute, binigay na mismo, huwag ka nang umangal, huwag mo nang hanapan ng justification saan galing yung 485. So inassume na po natin dito to simplify the process. Number 4, the construction of the terminal station was begun in February and natapos ng October. Okay, with actual construction cost of 5 million incurred for materials, labor, and overhead. Actual borrowing costs incurred amounted to 370,000. Now, AVC depreciates duly constructed buildings for 20 years. Okay? Number 5, certain laptops and peripherals and company-issued cars were misappropriated. These assets are still in the books, no? Nasa libro pa, recorded pa in the books. Per internal investigation and as confirmed during the conduct of the audit, these assets are no longer recoverable. At the beginning of 2024, office computer and equipment lost have a historical cost. Have ba yan or has? Anyway, no, ang historical cost niya ay 120,000 with accumulated depreciation up to that date of 36,000. Unrecovered service vehicles were acquired at a cost of 2.5 million and have been in use for 2 years already. For vehicles, dine-depreciate daw po ito for 10 years. Okay. Now, in September of 2023, last year po ito, no? Please take note that the year of audit is 2024. In September of 2023, AVC decided to dispose a group of non-current assets. The management developed and executed a plan para makapaghanap ng mga buyers, and the disposal group was marketed at a reasonable price of 10 million. Okay. Now, AVC estimated back in 2023 that they will be able to complete the sale within 1 year. However, during the audit, as of, syempre, no, yung audit na ginagawa, no, lalong-lalo na pag tapos na yung year end, this is done sometime in 2025 before the financial statements are issued. Okay, usually this is on the first quarter of the year, around January to March. So during the audit, it was found out that as of December 2024, hindi pa pala na-dispose. Okay, based on audit inquiry, hindi naman daw kasalanan ni AVC kung bakit hindi pa rin nabebenta, and that AVC is committed in selling the asset. Ang asset na tinutukoy, itong disposal group, ay binubuo ng mga sumusunod. Merong parcel of land, and that parcel of land is held for undetermined use, originally acquired at a cost of 3 million. Meron ding owner-occupied building, ang cost ay 5 million, the accumulated depreciation as of September of 2023 ay 2 million. Merong franchise with a carrying amount of 1.5 million, and then meron ding biological assets amounting to 500,000. Okay. Per audit inquiry, itong mga assets na ito ay nandoon pa, na isama pa po ito in their respective classes, still included in their separate classes as of December 31, 2024. Yun nga lang, nagtigil na ng depreciation or amortization, okay, as of September 2023 when the management decided to dispose of that assets. Okay. Based on the result of audit, depreciation for the newly constructed newly constructed what? Lagyan natin, newly constructed terminal. Okay, was not yet recorded. Per company policy, depreciation should have started October. Okay, now, ano po ang requirement natin dito? Ang requirements natin ay una, prepare yung audit adjustments kung meron man. Meron dapat, no? Dapat lang. Based on the scenario. Determine the correct balances of the affected accounts, and then number 3, present natin yung classification of accounts in the financial statements. Sa balance sheet and then sa income statements. Okay. So below, sa ilalim, ang ating solution guide at makikita po ninyo ito. Okay. Ang meron tayong audit adjustments pertain to numbers 1, 5, 6, 7. Kung paano yung numbering dito, ano. So, halimbawa, ito, number 1. Unahin na natin ito. Lagyan muna natin ang color coding yan. Okay? Para mas ma-identify natin. Later on, tanggalin na lang natin yung kulay. Anong sabi dito? May natanggap na government grant, no, amounting to 15 million non-monetary asset. Yun nga lang, dahil hindi pa naman daw kasi naumpisan yung pagpapatayo ng terminal, hindi niya muna ito isinama sa libro. Hindi pa siya recorded in the books. Okay. Mali po yung ano dito, ano, justification why the transaction was not recorded. Because even if hindi pa po nasa-satisfy yung condition, kailangan na po nating i-recognize yung land, pero yun nga po nito is an unearned revenue. So therefore, nagkaroon dapat tayo ng debit sa land and credit unearned revenue for government grant. So pag tinignan po ninyo dito sa baba na number 1, debit land, credit unearned revenue, government grant, 15 million. Okay. Next, number 5 transaction. Okay. Ano naman po ang meron sa number 5? I-highlight din muna natin. Ano, kulayan lang natin. Number 5, ito yung ano no, due to misappropriation. So, may mga ninakaw, no, inuwi, or kung ano man yung nature ng misappropriation of asset. Hindi na dinetail dito sa illustration, pero for sure, merong mga nawalang properties, company properties. So, per books, no, ang ating mga laptops and peripherals tagged as office computer and equipment, okay? Ang historical cost niya ay 120,000 and then yung accumulated depreciation ay 36. So in that case, we have to recognize the asset. Yung service vehicle naman, 2.5 yung cost, nagamit na for 2 years, magagamit supposedly ito for 10 years. So 20% depreciated. Okay, look at the journal entry no, for this transaction. Okay. Yung accumulated depreciation, we have to recognize. Tanggalin mo yan sa libro. Ito yung office computers and equipment, no? Nakatag na lang as office equipment. Okay. That is your accumulated depreciation. Naka-debit kasi yung normal balance niyan ay credit, di ba? Credit to office equipment kasi i-recognize, tatanggalin mo sa libro, 120,000 yung historical cost. Ganun din, ano, kinompound na natin yung journal entry. For the service vehicle, it is acquired at 2.5. It 20% depreciated. 2.5 times 20%, 500,000. Yung accumulated depreciation for service vehicle. So, since ang sabi sa information, we cannot recover from it, di treat mo na yan as loss. Impaired na yung asset na wala. Kung halimbawa, nanakaw man yan, ano, at per investigation, hindi na mababalik. Tanggalin mo na yan sa libro kasi hindi mo na siya mapapakinabangan. Therefore, you will incur a massive loss of 2,084,000. Loss on asset misappropriation. That loss is material, no? Mabigat yan. Kasi, syempre, there is a fraudulent activity from this. Okay? So, yun nga lang, on the investigation, ano, baka naman may marirecover pa rin si ABC. Kung hindi na marirecover ito, baka meron tayong insurance or claims or pwede pa nating mahabol kung sino man yung mga perpetrators. Pero as to the asset, it should be recognized in the books. Okay? So that's for number 5. Dito naman tayo sa number 6. Okay. Balikan natin, basahin nga ulit natin. Ano ang case natin dito? Meron tayong disposal asset. Disposal of asset. Okay. Unfortunately, in September of 2023, hindi, ano no, hindi siya na-reclassify. Nanatili siya sa kanilang mga accounts. Yung land held as, held for undetermined use, this should be classified as investment property. Na-retain pa rin siya under the investment property. Yung owner-occupied building, na-retain siya under PPE. Okay? Yung franchise, na-retain siya under intangibles. Biological asset, meron tayong separate category dito. Okay? However, yung depreciation for PPE, tumigil na. Yung amortization for franchise, kung ina-amortize natin ito, tumigil na rin. So, wala tayong issue as to the depreciation or amortization. Yun nga lang, dapat i-reclassify natin ito from their individual classes, yung mga major classes ng fixed assets na ito, papuntang non-current assets held for sale. Okay, kaya pag tinignan po ninyo dito sa journal entry natin, number 6, debit ka non-current asset held for sale. Okay, debit mo yung accumulated depreciation, which is given naman sa problem. Credit mo yung land held as investment property, credit mo yung building, credit mo yung franchise, credit mo yung biological asset para matanggal po ang mga ito sa libro. Okay? So, yung total credits mo ay 10 million, may debit ka na 2 million. So, non-current asset held for sale will amount to 8 million. Okay? Yun po yung disposal group natin. Sir, di ba, ang requirement ng IFRS 5 is that dapat the disposal should be completed within 12 months. Yes, that is correct. We have a point there. However, the standard also allows yung continuous recognition ng non-current asset held for sale even if it is not yet sold after 12 months. No, provided it is not the fault of the company as to the delay kung bakit hindi mabenta-benta, and also provided that the entity remains to be committed, which is given naman dito sa ating problem sa number 6. So in that case, there is no need to revert these assets to their original classifications. Tama naman po na i-reclassify natin ito papunta sa non-current asset held for sale. Okay? So yan po Yan yung ating journal entry. Number 7, this is the audit adjustment for number 7 pertains to the depreciation of the newly constructed bus terminal and then the apportionment, yung pag-recognize natin ng income from government grant. Okay. Ang ating government grant ay yung land 15 million. Tapos yung building mo na nabuo ay inutang natin sa bangko, di ba? Okay. Let me show you the solution, yung basis for the depreciation, for number 7. Okay. Ito po tayo, ayan. Kasi yung depreciation ng building mo should be based on the initial recognition. That is not only the 5 million cost. Okay? Hindi lamang po yun doon. Yun nga ba talaga siya? Okay, balikan nga natin. Yung actual construction cost ay 5 million. Tumugma doon sa inutang, Okay? Saktong-sakto. All right, now, going back, asa na yun? Dito. Okay? So, yung cost natin, material, labor, overhead na 5 million, dapat dagdagan po natin yan ng borrowing cost. In this particular case, we have a specific borrowing. Yung borrowing cost na kinapitalized ay based on the problem, 370,000. Sir, is that true? Is that true ba yan? Asaan po ba yan, sir? 370,000. Ito, number 4. Actual borrowing cost, 370. Huwag kang mag-compute ng 5 million times 10 ha. Pakitandaan po na tapos nag-umpisa February, nagtapos ng October. So, hindi mo pwedeng i-capitalize lahat ng isang taon. Balikan po natin yan. Meron tayong additional na, na reminders by the end of this recording. Okay? So, lipat tayo mamaya sa PowerPoint para sa reminders. So, ang basis natin is the actual borrowing cost of 370,000. Yun nga lang, since for specific borrowings, kung temporarily invested yung amount ng inutang natin, kung hindi pa naman ginagamit lahat, mapakinabangan siya. So, kung meron tayong investment income na kikitain, di ibawas natin yan. So, yung total investment, yung total borrowing cost capitalized will not be 370,000, but it will be 330,000. Okay? So therefore, the total building cost initially recognized ay 5,330,000. Now, paano natin na-compute yung 66,625? So pag tinignan po ninyo yung formula dito sa Excel, K63, which is etong 5.33 million, divided by 20. 20 ay 20 years. Pero since na-kompleto October, sometime in October, and the policy of the company is dapat ma-depreciate siya starting October, yun nga lang, hindi pa na-depreciate. E di meron ka dapat 3 months depreciation. So kaya sa formula, times 3 over 12. So 66,625. O kaya nga, kung sakali man, later, pag tinanong tayo, magkano yung carrying amount ng ating building, that is 5,263,375. O, eto po. Okay? Kasi meron tayong accumulated depreciation from October, November, December. Okay. Now, how about this unearned revenue, debit, and credit to revenue from government grant? For depreciable assets, government grant na conditional, tapos ang purpose is for a construction of a depreciable asset. Yung recognition ng income should follow the recognition of the expense. At yung expense natin dito ay based doon sa depreciation. So ganun din, magkano yung ating unearned revenue? 15 million yan. Okay? From the first transaction divided by 20. Kasi yung recognition ng depreciation ay for 20 years. Ganun din, times 3 over 12. So, unearned revenue, 187,500. Lipat mo yan sa revenue from government grant. Okay? So, etong 1,567, ito po yung mga adjusting entries, audit adjustments mo. Proposed adjusting entries, PAHE, kung sakali na wala pong adjustments particular to these transactions si client. Okay. Now, to answer number 2 and number 3, let us determine the correct balances of the accounts and how should this be classified in the financial statements. So, pagsamahin na po natin, sagutin natin ng sabay itong number 2 and 3. Yung non-current asset held for sale, sabi natin 8 million. Okay, this will be part of current assets. Okay, kasi expected to be disposed within 12 months after the reporting period. So, from non-current assets, lilipat sa current asset. Next, yung land na received as donation, 15 million. Okay, yung building, take note ha. Ito, nasagot na natin kanina, meron kang accumulated depreciation dito. So, yung carrying amount mo ay 5,263,375. Okay. Wala na po yung investment property, wala na yung franchise, wala na yung building na kasama dun sa disposal kasi nandirito na sila. Okay? So, assuming wala nang ibang information sa problem, wag na tayong maghanap ng mga pandagdag problema natin. Okay. So, yan lamang po yung relevant na mga information based on the case. Ang isasama natin as part of the current liability ay yung unearned revenue na expected to be recognized for next year. And that is 15 million divided by 20. Okay? And then the rest is part of the non-current liabilities. Kung ang grant na na-receive mo, 15 million, may na-recognize ka na 187,500. Okay? In 2024. Nasa income mo yan. Ito yun, no? Okay? And then may 750 expected to be recognized next year. Eh di ito ang matitira. 14,062,500. Pag pinagsama mo sila, 14,812,500, that is the balance after you deduct 187,500. Okay? And also, don't forget that you have a non-current liability, 5 million. Pag problem is silent, lump sum yan. Kasi nga, dito, ang sinasabi naman is, babayaran mo, 3 years eh. So, after 1 year, 2 years na lang. So, non-current yung classification. Okay? What else? In the statement of financial performance sa income statement, yung revenue from government grant na na-reclassify. Okay? So, that is 187,500. Yung interest income mo, ang total na na-earn ay 45,000. Pero, yung 40,000 dyan, i-apply natin against the borrowings. Okay? So, therefore, ang net mo dyan ay 5,000. Okay? Sa expense naman, meron kang loss on asset misappropriation na 2,084,000. Meron ka ding interest expense 485,000. No, ito yung actual cost incurred. Pero bawas natin yung ika-capitalize na 370. So therefore, meron tayo ditong 115,000. Para ang sinasabi, out of 485, 115, interest expense mo, 300, yung 40,000 is offset mo doon sa income. Okay, natanggal na dito, so tanggal na rin dito, no? And then yung 330, ito yung capitalized doon sa building. Okay? May nakalimutan tayo na isulat dito, yung depreciation expense. Magkano yung depreciation expense natin? Your depreciation expense in this case is limited to the 66,625. Okay? Double check natin, baka meron tayong nakalimutan. Siyempre, land will not be depreciated. So, itong 66,625 pertains only to building. Tinanggal mo naman na yung franchise, tinanggal mo na yung building, no? At saka yung investment property, wala naman tayong information as to anong model yan. So, ang assumption natin, cost model. Okay, also, yung land held as investment property, kung nalipat na yan sa, no, sa non-current asset held for sale, kahit na fair value model tayo dyan, ignore natin yung mga yon. Okay? Kasi nalipat ng classification. So, assuming wala na akong nakakalimutan, ito lamang po ang bumubuo sa mga information based on this. Okay? So, pa-take note na lamang po ng mga appropriate amounts. Now, gentle reminders. No, hindi pa po tayo tapos. Let me stop sharing and move on to sharing another PowerPoint ba ito or PDF? No, naka-PowerPoint. Okay? So, ito yung mga gentle reminders natin. Reconstruction ng balances due to misappropriation. Okay? And then yung miss sa accounting department. Okay. So, let us begin with government grants. So, pakitandaan po that in the acquisition of property, plant, and equipment, pwedeng by way of donation. Pero pwedeng yung donor mo is a shareholder or pwedeng hindi shareholder or yung donor mo government unit. PAS 20, the accounting standard for government grants and disclosure of government assistance, that applies if the donor is a government unit. But if the donor is a shareholder or not a shareholder, iba po yung treatment natin dyan. Kaya nga, if the donor is a shareholder, credit is made to share premium as donated capital. Yun yung APIC in the olden days na. Okay, if the donor is not a shareholder, if unconditional, ibig sabihin walang restriction, credit is outright sa revenue account. Pero kung conditional, liability account mo muna. And subsequently transferred sa revenue account pag nasatisfy na yung condition. Similar to the requirement in PAS 20. Okay? So, expenses incurred with the donation like yung payment ng registration fees ay charge natin sa donated capital if the donor is a shareholder. Okay? DAX, yung directly attributable cost. Installation, testing cost necessary to bring the donated asset to the location and condition for its intended use shall be capitalized. Okay. So, yan po pa-take note yan. Now, yung asset na natatanggap natin by way of donation, it is measured at their fair value at the time of donation. Pa-take note niyan. Okay. Ito, additional information as to the scope and limitation ng PAS 20. Hindi po natin kino-cover, hindi kino-cover ng standard na ito kapag meron tayong special problems arising in government grant reflecting the effects of changing prices. Okay? Also, if the government assistance is provided in the form of benefits available in determining taxable profit or loss or in determining the basis of income tax liabilities. And if the government will be participating in the ownership of the entity and government grants covered by PAS 41 or IAS 41. So, hindi po saklaw ng standard na ito yung mga issues dyan. Okay. Eto, no? Daanin lang natin, pasadahan lang natin. Pag sinabi natin government grants, no? Form of government assistance. Okay? Transfer of resources from the government to the entity, pwedeng conditional, usually conditional naman yan. Okay? Kasi, halimbawa, may hihingi na pabor sa'yo yung government, hindi niya kayang gawin, so meron siyang i-donate na either monetary or non-monetary asset in exchange for the performance of something. Okay. So, ayan, assistance. So, government grants are sometimes called subsidies, subventions, or premiums. Okay? What else? Ito yung mga examples ng government grants under PAS 20. Monetary, siyempre, pera yung natanggap mo. Okay? Land or other non-cash assets with certain conditions. Receipt of financial aid in case of a loss or loss from a calamity. Pagpapatawad ng utang, existing loan from the government, or a benefit of a government loan with below market rate of interest. Kunwari, pag inutang mo ito sa mga bangko, ang interest rate ay 15%, pero pag pinautang ito sa iyo ng gobyerno, the loan is will be paid with interest of 5%. So the 10% is your government grant. All right? What is the recognition criteria for government grant? So, kailangan natin ma-satisfy that the entity will comply with the conditions and then the grants will be received. Okay? Pag natanggap mo yung grant, hindi po yan conclusive evidence na meron kang kailangang i-recognize. Alright? Thus, a grant is accounted for in the same manner whether it is received in cash or as a reduction of a liability to the government. Okay. Take note po nito, government grants are recognized in profit or loss on a systematic basis. O kaya nga, pwedeng, depende yan eh. May conditions or wala. Pero eto na, mention ko naman na kanina, we measure it at fair value. Okay? And per IFRS 13, fair value measurement, fair value is the price that would be received to sell an asset or paid to transfer a liability. Blah, blah, blah. Okay? Ito yung guidance natin. Pag monetary yung grants, yung fair value is the amount of cash received or the fair value of the amount receivable, kung receivable pa lang yan. Pero kung non-monetary yung grants, like in the problem, meron tayong lupa, the fair value ng monetary asset received. Kung hindi yan available, magkano yung nominal amount? Okay? So, that is in relation to paragraph 23 of the standard. Okay. Grants in recognition of specific expenses. So, anong sabi sa atin dyan? Recognize in profit or loss in the same period as relevant expenses. Kapag na-recognize mo na yung expense, i-recognize mo na rin yung related income sa government grant. Whereas, for grants related to depreciable assets, we recognize the income in the same manner as kung paano natin systematically ina-allocate yung depreciation. Okay? So, straight line method, straight line mo din yung government grant. SYD, SYD din. Alright? What else? We are done with government grants. Proceed naman tayo sa reminder sa borrowing cost as covered by PAS 23. So, an entity shall capitalize borrowing cost only those that are directly attributable. Okay? Pag hindi directly, interest expense lang yan. So basically, borrowing costs are simply interest expense. Pero kasi nga, di ba, cost of borrowing. Yun nga lang, we can capitalize this if as part of the cost of the qualifying asset. Kung meron tayong kinoconstruct. Okay? So, only when it is probable that they will result in future economic benefits. And the cost can be measured reliably. Now, kailan tayo mag-umpisa ng capitalization? Ang sabi ng standard, the entity shall begin capitalizing borrowing cost as part of the cost of the qualifying asset, okay, when the entity first meets all pag na-satisfy lahat ng A, B, and C conditions. Letter A, it incurs expenditure for the asset. Letter B, it incurs the borrowing cost, no? So, ano lang, reminder lang for letter A. So, expenditures ng qualifying asset include only those expenditures that have resulted in the payment of cash, transfer of other assets, or the assumption of liabilities. Okay? Reduced by any progress payments, etc. Okay? Letter C, it undertakes activities that are necessary to prepare the assets for its intended use. So, dapat nag-umpisa na yung construction, nire-ready mo na siya. So, it encompasses not only the physical construction of the asset, but this could include technical, administrative work, okay? Excluding, syempre, yung holding of an asset when no production or development. Kasi kung halimbawa, natenga sa production ng qualifying asset, sa development ng qualifying asset na yon, syempre, nangutang ka sa bangko, you incur interest expense. Yung portion doon sa interest expense will not be capitalized as part of the cost of the qualifying asset. So, kaya nga, hindi lahat ng interest expense kinakapitalize natin as borrowing cost. Okay? So, reminders po. No? Meron tayong specific borrowings, meron tayong general borrowings, meron tayong combination. For specific borrowings, gentle reminder, we base it on the actual borrowing cost less any investment income. Okay? On the temporary investment. So, ito yung pinakamadali. Okay? For general borrowings, ito yung mga, although dito sa problem natin, sa case, wala tayong specific example dyan, we'll see in the future lectures if we can make one. Okay? So, meron tayong capitalization rate na kailangan gamitin. And then, we base it on the weighted average, okay, outstanding during the period. But it should not exceed yung amount of borrowing cost it incurred. Okay? So, for now, kindly check your reviewers or any materials that you have on this computation. Kasi sa ngayon, while in the problem, we mentioned the specific borrowings, no? Pero isinama ko na rin dito yung mga other gentle reminders. But as to computation-wise, wala tayong representation dito sa case problem. Okay? So, yung highlights lang, computed as follows: average expenditure times capitalization rate, pero it should not exceed yung actual borrowing. So, lower amount yan between the computed under this one or the actual borrowing cost. So, kung mas mataas yung na-compute mo based dito sa formula na ito, gamitin mo yung actual borrowing cost. Okay? For combined, ayan, weighted average accumulated expenditure pero in excess of specific borrowings financed by general borrowings. Okay? So, pa-take note na lamang po nito. So, binabawas natin yung specific borrowings. Okay? So, yan lamang, mga kapatid, yung ating discussion for, gentle reminders that, covers or affects yung ating illustration. Let me know if you have any questions or meron kayong confusion dito sa ating comprehensive case problem. Okay, so maraming salamat. I will now end our recording.